If you're a postpartum mom struggling with constant back pain every time you bend over to lift your little one, tidying up the toys from the floor, or maybe you just feel a constant heaviness in your belly, lower abdominal area every time you try to bend over, this video is for you. In today's video, I am sharing 4 simple exercises you can do at home which would take 10 minutes maybe, and you can have your little one right next to you. These exercises focus on closing the gap between your core muscles, regaining your strength so you can move more confidently around the day. I shared part 1 of this video earlier where we went through basic foundation exercises of how to activate your core and pelvic floor muscles. If you haven't watched that yet, I highly recommend to start with that video. Today we are progressing on part 2 from that video where we will be going over gentle strengthening exercises. Now that you have the foundations of how to activate your core and pelvic floor, we're moving into strengthening exercises where we are activating but also building up your strength in the core, pelvic floor, hip muscles. So let's get started with today's workout. Now, if you have been around the channel for a while, thank you so much for joining me again today. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Shriti and I'm a board certified physical therapist helping postpartum moms just like you regain their core strength, heal their pelvic floor, and improve nutrition so they can feel energized all in 15 minutes a day. So now let's get started with today's workout. For your first one, we're going to go ahead and lay on your side and then go on the floor. Make sure you either have a yoga block or a pillow to support your head. That way your head is not hanging back. So let's get in the position. Now, first thing you'll do is activating your core muscles, which we went over in the first video, which means you have to tilt your pelvis down, hands on the belly so you can actually feel your muscles tightening. Once we do that, starting with your right leg, I want you to go ahead and gently slide it straight and bring it back. Good. We'll do this 10 times. Now, throughout the sliding motion, your pelvis needs to stay tilted and flat, and your fingers need to feel that core engaging. If that is not happening, it means your core muscles are not activated and you are not strengthening them correctly. So make sure you tilt your pelvis every time you slide to make sure they are engaged and activated for them to actually strengthen and for you to actually feel a difference. So let's go ahead and slide, hold, and back. Now remember, we talked about the breathing in previous video where you start with a deep breath in and then as you breathe out, you slide. So always remember, you want to exhale before doing the motion. And this is true for even your daily activities, like when you're trying to lift your little one from the crib or you're just loading your dishwasher. Every time you think about bending over, make sure to exhale and then bend over. What this does is it activates your core muscles correctly. That way it supports you when you're trying to do activities or things around your home, and it does not cause back pain or accidental leaking when you try to sneeze or laugh. Good work. We're halfway there. Give me 5 more. Slow and controlled. Make sure your pelvis is tilted. That's why you have your hands on the belly to make sure that you feel that tightening and engaging of your core muscles. Nice work. Slow and controlled. Make sure you're exhaling and then sliding. Good work. And relax. Now we'll switch to the other side. So same thing. We tilt, engage your core, and then you're going to slide your left foot down, pause, and bring it up. Good work. Let's do 9 more. Slow and controlled, focusing on your breathing and your posture. Remember to do your exercises slow and controlled. Even if you have 5 minutes and you can only get through one exercise, the goal is to do it perfectly versus trying to cram 5 exercises in 10 minutes. Because when you are doing it slow and controlled, you're actually training your muscles on what they have to do, how they have to do, and what your body needs to feel. Think about retraining your body after having a baby. So you have to do it slow and controlled, that way your muscle is able to build up its memory. If you do it too fast, you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, getting in 10 repetitions and moving over to your next exercise, your muscle is not getting enough time to actually understand what we're doing. Tilting, breathing, engaging, all those things are important, but we have to give your muscle time to understand how to engage and how to pair it with breathing. That's why doing those exercises slow and controlled is very important. Nice work. Let's do one more after this. Good. Make sure you're having your pelvis tilted. Feel that core engaging under your fingers. And relax. Nice work. Now moving on to exercise number 2. We still stay in the same position. Tilt your pelvis to engage that core and then gently lift your knees up. Now holding those knees up at 90 degrees, making sure your belly is engaged. We're going to work on straightening out that knee one at a time. Good work. And on this one, I want you to alternate and give me 10 on each. Now every time you straighten, before you straighten it out, make sure you breathe out. Good. And obviously you're making sure your core is engaged. Have those fingers on your belly. That way you can feel that muscle tightening. Nice work. Slow and controlled. If you're feeling that you're losing your control, the pelvis is not tilting, you can go ahead and bring your legs down, reset the pelvis, and you can continue. You don't have to do all 10 all together. You can do it one at a time. So you can go ahead and gently bring them down, and then whenever you feel ready, you tilt, lift it up again, and then continue from where you left off. Again, the goal here is to make sure you really focus on your breathing and posture. That way you're using the right muscles to engage and perform that exercise. We don't want to compensate by using different muscles, because then the whole point of actually activating and engaging your core muscles to close that gap is not happening. Good work. I know this is hard on the core, you're probably feeling it, so you can easily take breaks. You don't have to push yourself too hard and just keep going. Just make sure you get 10 reps on each side with correct posture and breathing. Good work. Slow and controlled. You're doing amazing, mamas. I'm so proud of you for showing up and playing hit on this workout. I know you could be doing a million things right now, but taking out 10 minutes, 15 minutes from your busy schedule and focusing on your own recovery is going to take you further and longer, because it's going to help you rebuild your strength, make you feel more confident. And when you feel confident as a mom, you'll be able to pour into your kids and your family even better. Nice work. Let's do one more. Slow and controlled. Good. And gently bring your legs down. Amazing. Next, for your third exercise, let's roll onto your sides. Make sure your head is supported. Bring your hips over so one hip is stacked right on top of the other. We don't want any tilting back. So make sure you're nice and straight. Have one hand on that hip to have it push forward, that way it doesn't roll back. Now with your feet stacked one on top of the other, I want you to lift the legs straight up, pause, and down. Good. We're doing this 10 times. 2 things to keep in mind. One is your breathing, so as you exhale, you lift up, And then second is holding your hip nice and straight, one hip stacked on top of the other. So don't roll back. If this is harder for you to imagine, do this in front of a mirror where you can see yourself, or just put your camera on in front of you, that way you can see yourself. The goal is here to make sure we do it correctly. That way we're engaging the right muscles. Good work. Slow and controlled. Good, we're halfway through. Give me 5 more. Nice. Now you might notice that I'm not moving my leg up as high as I can, but I'm stopping right at line with my upper body. And that's exactly what I want you to focus on. This exercise is not for you to be able to lift your leg up as high as you can, but this is more to improve your alignment and activating the correct muscles with the use of core. That way when you are standing, squatting down, or pushing your stroller, you are activating and engaging the right muscles. But that will only happen if we're practicing it in a laying down position, giving your muscles a chance to work in sync, your pelvic floor, your core, your hip muscles. Good work. Let's do one more. And relax. Perfect. You should be feeling it in the side of your hips. Let's go ahead and switch sides. And always remember, you roll onto your side and then go on your back. I don't want you to be swinging up straight, doing a sit-up. That's going to put more stress on your core and low back muscles, and we don't want that. Perfect. Get in the position, hip roll forward, feet on top of each other. And then when we are ready, lift up and down. Good. Slow and controlled. Good. Make sure we're breathing out and then lifting the leg up. Always exhale before starting the exercise. Good work. You're doing amazing. Keep on pushing. You only have a few more minutes to go. We have one more exercise after this. Good work. Slow and controlled. Good. 3 more. Good. Do a quick posture check to make sure your hips are rolled forward. Good. Let's do this one last time. And relax. Amazing. Let's go ahead and sit up. Perfect. And now for your last exercise, I want you to use a dumbbell. If you don't have a dumbbell, use soup can, water bottle, any kind of weight you have, even your kids' toys. If your little one is right next to you playing around, let's grab onto your little one. Anything you can hold on to as a weight is perfect. Now once we have that, I'm going to bring it closer to the chest. Make sure your feet are uncrossed. What we're working on is we come up, keep that weight closer to you, and then as we come down, you take it further. There we go. And we're doing this 10 times, slow and controlled. Now every time you come up, make sure your feet stay flat on the floor. I don't want those feet coming up with you. So the goal is to use your core, tuck that pelvis under, and then come up nice and straight without having your feet to lift up. And this is a great way to practice how to lift up your little one. So often I'll notice moms lifting up their babies further away, so you're holding like this. But what this does is you start arching at your low back, and now you're putting strain on those muscles. So when you are lifting up, so as you come up, you get that baby closer to you. And then as you are lower, you are having it away. So you pick up low away, but then you bring it immediately closer as you straighten up yourself. Nice work. Let's do this 2 more times. Really focusing on keeping your spine nice and straight. No curving at that low back. Good work. and relax. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you for doing this workout today. Now, if you found this helpful, make sure to check out my full 6 weeks of Diastasis Recti program where you get full workout. So this was just a little glimpse of a workout. But if you want to access the full workout and a progressive 6 weeks of exercises, check out that course because we dive a lot deeper into activation exercises, progression, gentle strengthening, moving into functional strength, and then finally addressing balance and coordination. So I highly recommend for you to check out that program because that goes a lot deeper and helps you understand how to move, how to improve your posture, how to do things better every single day. And if you were new here, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button below so you never miss a postpartum tip from me. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. Bye!